You got your Gore-Tex Hoarders hoodie on?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Got to
Nice.
represent the culture, GTH, to the fullest.
How'd that start?
Gore-Tex hoarders. Long story short, I've been collecting Gore-Tex since '93, but how GTH started was my person that I'm with right now. When I met her, I noticed that she had like a lot of bins, a lot of boxes, and I was like, "What do you have in those bins?" And she's like, "Oh, clothes like from junior high school and high school." And I was like, wow, that was one side of, I didn't know about her like that. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. So what are you telling me? You're like a hoarder? And she was like, yeah, I guess so, but like a clean hoarder. And I was like, all right, official. And I was like, well, I like Gore-Tex. She was like, yeah, I know, but I don't necessarily hoard Gore-Tex. So it was just kind of like a joke. And we put those two things together and wow, Gore-Tex Hoarders was formed.
Is clean hoarding also referred to as collecting? Is that a good way to kind of describe it?
Yeah, definitely.
so what
Definitely.
so what was the first piece that set you off where you realized the power of Gore-Tex, the style of it? Like what kind of sparked it for you?
To music videos, seeing the rap videos, seeing them in the gear. But I mean, to make the transition to Gore-Tex, I mean, once I saw North Face, I already fell in love with North Face, but it's a difference. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like, of course, North Face makes backpacks, and a lot of people recognize like the puffers, the Nipsey jackets. But I mean, when it comes to like technical outdoor, you think about the shells, and that's what I was definitely interested. So that's what got me into, because I already had like a few pieces that was Gore-Tex, but wasn't of course North Face. Like I had the Euro Hiker by Timberland, those were Gore-Tex, and I had like a hat that was Gore-Tex, but not to the extent.
Where are we talking from? Where I'm in California. Where are you? Are you in New York?
Yeah, I'm in New York, the Bronx, baby, home of hip hop.
Nice. So, where would you go to get your pieces? Would you like go into the city, like to Paragon and stuff like that, or were there other shops?
Well, we always had Paragon Sports, but I mean, I'm OG. I got most of my gear from Tenton Trails. Shout out to Tenton Trails. They ain't there no more, but yeah, Tenton Trails. That's where I got most of my gear.
Where was that?
Downtown Park Place, 21 Park Place to be exact. WTC. That's what we call it for short.
Oh, like so when did that close? I lived in New York from only a few years, from like 97 to 01.
Oh,
So
so they were
I'm not
still
familiar.
open.
Go ahead.
Yeah, 97 to 01, they were still open.
Oh, they were? Maybe I missed
Yeah,
it. I don't know. I would go to Paragon a lot and they had a lot of good technical stuff.
yeah.
I
So
snowboard. I'm into snow sports. So I'm familiar with Gore-Tex. I'm familiar with the super tech stuff.
right.
But it really took kind of the New York style to kind of make me realize how cool it was. For me, it was kind of just like mountaineer stuff, but I
Mm,
would see cats like on the street wearing it and they really knew how to put it together. So I when I heard about you and your collective, I knew we had to talk because not only am I interested in your collection, but it's also kind of like a look into like New York style. So
right.
I'm really excited that we meet. Thanks so much for making this happen.
No doubt, no doubt. Of course, of course. I mean, a very good friend of mine is the one who was like, yo, Joey, like, because I kind of slowed down, like being in the limelight and stuff. But he was like, yo, Joey, I know you're not really comfortable doing like all these shows and podcasts and stuff. I know you want to like chill out and just lay back. And I was like, I do. But he was like, this guy out there, man, I'm telling you, you really need to connect with him because, as you say, he's from New York. He knows about gear and he's getting in depth and he's gonna blow up. I was like, all right, cool. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind speaking and sharing my knowledge, but he was like, trust me, bro. Sometimes when you speak to people, they really just, just talking off the talk.
Yeah.
But he was like, this guy, he's in there. He understands. So I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so like what rappers were like wearing Gore-Tex like in 93? Who was doing that? Just the New York guys?
I mean, well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm New York to the fullest, so I'm only gonna look at New York cats. But I mean,
Yeah.
there was a lot of cats out there doing it. But I mean, you could look at most hip hop videos. Of course, you would see LL Cool J rocking. He had the Mountain Light. But I mean, it's mostly like a New York thing. I really didn't see videos like that much. Seeing cats like maybe like from LA or from like, because of course the climate thing,
Mhm.
rocking like North Face and stuff. But we from up north, wintertime, the bricks, the cold. And then, like you said, anything we wear, we like to throw like a little swag to it. So,
Hmm.
and emulate the music videos. But I mean, that's where I got all my knowledge from, like Video Music Box. We would run home from
Yes.
school and you would throw on Video Music Box. You want to see the new videos coming out, and that's where you see the gears, the rappers. That's what made it.
Now people go on social media to see what's happening, but like for our generation, I feel like we're in the same age group.
Mm,
For us, it was music videos. Like those were our magazines. That was our way
yeah,
into seeing what was cool, what, the fashion of the time, and just kind of see how things were done. That was like the glimpse in. It was like music videos
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah. And the
MTV and like
cafeteria,
BET and stuff like
cafeteria
that.
though. You
Say
can't
what?
forget the cafeteria strip though. Like you see, like me, put it this way: I'm from Manhattan, and I went to high school in Southside Jamaica in Queens. So there's two elements of the strip, especially if you're like like an urbanite like myself, traveling. When you're on the bus and the train, that whole ride, like you don't even want to sit down. You want to stand up. I mean, I should be kind of ashamed of saying it at this age, but you want to flam. You want people to see your gear from head to toe.
Hmm.
So basically, that's kind of like your first glimpse of style. You'll see cats. Like I said, I'm traveling from Manhattan. You'll see the Uptown style. I'm passing through Brooklyn. You see how Brooklyn cats do it, and then you see Queens. So you get to see the transition. And then not only that, but when you go to school, like I said, the strip, the cafeteria. Basically, when you over there, you want to line up. When you lining up, if you have gear on, all eyes is on you. So that's where you get to see like the style. And then when you see it on the music video, you'll be like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on. Because 90s, like when it comes to like our style, you got to give a shout out to like Ziggy, that music video, Uptown Bounce. Like you see the style, you see the colors, you see how they rocket it like head to toe. So basically, most New Yorkers, they wanted that style,
Yeah.
head to toe.
Where did that originate? Is it a function thing?
What, the head to toe?
The technical style?
I mean, you got to give that to the low heads, to the low lives, man. Like you got to, because like I said, I'm from Manhattan. You wouldn't really see the style that much unless you travel. Like that's the way how you
Right.
have to travel, and transportation. That's what you're gonna see it. I
Yeah.
mean, only if you're wearing it too. Like if you're traveling that way, it's like a double-edged sword, because I mean, if they're out there mobbing, like if they're in a crew and they see you rocking some gear, they may come over there and want to take your gear.
Right.
But you got to give it to them, man. I mean, a lot of heads did it before, but when those crews joined up, when low lives joined up, and you had like the Ralphie kids, and you have to just give them their props, because the
Yeah.
way how they put it up, so technical with the gear,
Yeah.
put the colors together with the baggy jeans, with the boots. I mean, they the ones who flamed out Gore-Tex. Like if it wasn't for them, you probably wouldn't even really hear about Gore-Tex like that. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, no, Sir Mix-a-Lot did it in his video and his song when he was talking about Gore-Tex, but I don't think it really hit like that, because hearing them the way how they doing it, boosting, going on Mias and running, and they out there trooping, like that's what it is. You got to give it to them, man.
Were the low lifes into polo sport too, or just strictly like mainline Ralph and
Nah, they was all things low. I mean, that's
yeah.
why hence the name, like low life. All
Right.
things low, polo sport, polo country,
Yeah.
polo outdoorsman. Like I mean, the whole line, stadium. Like
Yeah.
with them, you could go on for days. But I mean, the way I always remember seeing it, like I said in the Ziggy video, when you saw that patch, that high tech patch, or you saw
Yes.
the polo patch, that's where the game started changing. When you start seeing dudes wearing the vest, and then they have like the jacket with the vest, that's like you're layering it up. Not only are you layering it up to let people see how many pieces you got on, but it's like a science to it. You can't just throw on mad pieces. I mean, come on, you're gonna
Right.
look stupid.
Right.
So, but yeah, you got to give it to them, man. I'm telling you, they the blueprint. Far as I want to say it, that's the whole blueprint. That's where I get the head to toe from. Like the face heads, that's another crew out of Brooklyn. They do it the same way how the low lives do it, head to toe, everything face. Shout out to the face heads in Brooklyn, man.
Faceheads.
For
That's a
real.
good moniker. I like that.
Yeah, man. But I mean, don't try to steal it though. Like,
No, 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 no.
yeah,
We're
they take that
honoring it.
personal. I mean, a lot
Yeah,
of
no, no.
crews take they title personal.
I get it. Why not Patagonia in New York?
I mean, nah, don't get me wrong. Patagucci has his following. I mean, but I mean, Gear has his following. It's not just North Face though. Like you
Yeah.
back in the day, you ain't just gonna say like Face. You gotta throw in Columbia. Like I used to rock Columbia hard. The
Hmm.
only reason why I stopped rocking Columbia, because at that time I couldn't find Columbia Gore-Tex Columbia. That's the reason why, because not only seeing North Face in the movies, Red Dawn, you see it in Gremlins, like those little cameos. You see the gear, and if you're like a movie buff, you pay attention to stuff like that. But
Were they wearing North Face and Red Dawn?
What, bro? Like, for real?
Were
You
they?
serious, man? Yeah, man. You don't remember the scene like where all of them got together, Jed and all of them? That was in the truck, and they got to the shop, to their father's shop.
I
And there
remember
was
the
like,
movie. I don't remember they were wearing North Face though. That's some
oh
good
yeah,
trivia.
yo, my man, the peep it, like check the
Yeah.
bubbles. You're not gonna see the big logo because of course it's brown label,
Right.
made in USA. So remember this, we're talking 84, 85, 86.
I saw that in the theater.
Yeah, bro, I had the VHS, man. I burnt it. That's what
Right.
basically turned me to, like a survivalist. Always, no disrespect, but always waiting for that day to come, but praying it don't. But yeah, man, that movie, look at it. Like, look at all the scenes, all the epic scenes. Like, look at the backpack.
Right.
They have like 3 epic backpacks that's in there, big body backpacks, like the JanSport.
Yeah.
They have the bubbles, and you see it like when he's going in the store and he's telling him, yo, go get those, get the sleeping bags, get the da-da-da, get this, get it. Yeah, man. Yeah, North Face is definitely in that, man.
I've never heard of Red Dawn as a flagship for style. That's interesting.
Yeah, man. Didn't you see how they put it together? Because
I get it now.
I mean,
I totally get
Charlie
it.
Sheen. Charlie Sheen didn't even want to. I don't know if you really paid attention to the movie, but look at it. Like Charlie Sheen, he stood in his varsity jacket. He stood in his Wolverines jacket.
I remember that.
He wasn't digging it because outdoor style wasn't a style. Like,
right.
That was dirtbag. Like, shout out to Conrad Anchor. I'm using his words, but that's all dirtbag. Like, remember, like, if it wasn't for the low heads, the style probably would have came out, but it wouldn't have came out like the way how they did it. Like, they made it a fashion statement.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people wore North Face, but you ain't see it like that. Like, look at Michael J. Fox when he wore his what they thought it was a life preserver vest. Remember
that's a
Michael
North
J.
Face?
Fox? Come on, bro. Like, there's a lot of movies that you can see. Look at Gremlins when dude comes out where he has to jumpstart the car. That whole parka, that's a North Face parka. And then he has on the New Balance GORE-TEX boots. Like, I mean, there's many movies like Jackie Chan. He had, like, look at that movie First Strike where he has on the suit.
Right.
I'm still trying to get the bib. Like, so all these things, not only is it hip hop, but it's also in the movies. You got to remember, like, movies, music, that's all pop culture. That all stays and embedded in somebody's head.
But
so
somehow it takes like New Yorkers to figure out how to style it out.
I mean, I don't know, because like, look at Jackie, bro. Like, look how Jackie wore it. Look how Jackie wore it in that flick. Like, I don't know if you remember that movie. Remember, he took it off the rack that was in somebody's closet. He's trying to hide and run from the enemy, and he's trying to camouflage himself. And what does he do? He throws on a yellow and black mountain jacket with the bib.
Yeah,
but
I don't think I've ever seen First Strike. I gotta check that out. You're giving me homework now.
Oh, my bad, man. There's so many movies. There's I could go on for days, man. Of course, I'm Joey once, but I don't mean to ramble. But I don't only want to say New Yorkers, like, because like I don't want to give it all to New York, man. Like, it's just that New Yorkers have a certain type of swag.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. Because like right now, if you look current, like look at the internet, look at all this. I hate to say the term, but Gore Corp or whatever you want to say it, like. Those dudes, ain't none of those dudes that's doing the stuff right now from New York. We had, the Asian market, like those guys over there are killing it.
Sure.
I have like one of my homeboys, shout out to Zilla, he's killing it. Like, and these are people not from New York, but they adopted the style and then made it a little bit more technical.
I'm kind of referring to like
how we wear it, not urban like how we wear it.
Right. I'm referring to like 90s. To kind of like, I'm referring to kind of like the idea of like incorporating the streetwear styling, taking like mountain wear and mountaineering wear and like highly technical stuff and bringing it to the street. I'm referring it to that way. Like, yes, you always had like those like really fly like Swedish people that you would see with like the cool backpacks and the parkas and stuff. And yes, you definitely saw like people in Japan rocking it, but like. It takes like, a city kids, I guess. I guess New York is kind of a small bubble to say that. It takes city kids to do that.
Yeah, the urbanites. I mean, but you got to understand, we always want to look like other people, though, like street kids. Like me growing up, I wanted to look like the dudes that was on the block, like hustling. Like, in all actuality, the first time I seen North Face, like, like literally, like vision-wise, where I was like, yo, I was in 8th Ave with my dad. Like, I can't even remember what we was doing, but we was over there by the bus terminal, by Port Authority. And I'm always gonna remember that image. When I first saw it, it was like 6 guys, and they all had on the red and black Sagamore, the 3/4 joint. And I'm telling you, this is like 89. I'm not no lie. And when you seen all of them wearing it like that, like when I first saw it, I thought it was First Down. I didn't
Yeah.
even think it was
Right.
North Face, like because the logo, like that big logo, it wasn't really like in '89. You didn't really see it like that.
No,
You
it's
saw
true.
still it was still the small logo. You wasn't seeing the big logo. So when I saw that, all this is like imagery that's in my head. I was like, wow. And I was like, Dad, look at those guys. And no disrespect, my father was like, I bet you they're drug dealers. Because you can see those jackets, like I'm talking, people weren't wearing that type of gear back
Right.
in the day. They weren't. And those were drug dealers. Those are dealers. And in all honesty, it's kind of like a funny game because it's like rappers want to look like drug dealers, and then drug dealers want to look like rappers.
Right. It's
I
like a
mean, I don't know.
symbiosis. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it really makes sense, but but look at it. Look at the block huggers. They the ones who have the money to buy that shit. In all actuality,
Yeah.
some rappers don't have that money until they make it to buy it. So,
Right.
but it's definitely New York, and like you said, the kids. But remember, at the end of the day, the low heads, those were kids, bro. Like when they started that like in 88. Those were a
Wow.
bunch of kids, man.
Yeah.
They just wanted to look different. And remember, when they started, they didn't start with Polo. They started with other brands like, Gant, Izod, Claiborne. These are just brands that probably didn't make it. Like nowadays you hear everybody talking about like what Pop Smoke is, that brand. I can't even remember the brand right now because I'm not really into brands like that. But
Uh-huh.
you could just see the transition of the strength that what rappers can make a brand pop. Right now,
Yes.
any rapper could like really hype up like Patagonia, like you were saying, why not Patagonia? What Not that many rappers hyped up like Patty Gucci,
Right.
that's why I didn't make it. So kids, yes, rappers, yes. Like if the kids take it and the rappers take it, it'll blow up anything.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's originally very technical. So for dudes and females probably too, most
Mm,
likely to see that and to have the vision of like that looks really good. I'm gonna wear that on the street. I'm gonna
right,
wear that out in the city.
right.
That kind of takes vision. That's
Yeah, I mean,
style. That's real style.
look at DMX, bro. Like, look at DMX and Sticky Fingers. Like, when you look at those guys, like, yo, my man, Heli Vest,
Yes.
the whole search and rescue, or
Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna call the hood names. Heli Vest, the whole search and rescue suit.
Yeah.
When you see DMX, like, look at in the
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4 video, you see him in the hydration vest, like the
Yes.
goggles, like it's all about the style. Like, there's
Yes.
even a rap song that I probably can't recall it right now, but they say it, yo. I think it was Redman. He said we wear gear for like hunting. We wear hunting gear.
Right.
Like he said it in one of his flows, like they wearing Tim's, Carhartt, the bright orange shit with like the duck camo.
Yes.
This is not made for the way how we
No.
rock it. I always say, like, when it comes to North Face, Alpine gear. I mean,
That's what it is.
it's Alpine gear in all
Yes.
actuality. But look how we rock it though. Like, yo, my man, I went to August Martin, so that's Southside Queens.
Uh-huh.
90, we're talking like 90 to 94.
Uh-huh.
Carhartt and like Car Kanai, Champion. I still love Champion though.
Yeah.
Those are the brands that those dudes was rocking out there. When you saw somebody rocking technical gear, like gear, you
Yes.
like, oh, most likely they from Brooklyn. Like the first time I seen Trini with North Face, he had the whole suit. I mean, he was from Brooklyn. A Trini dude, he looked like a Dogla. He looked like he's like, dark skin. He looked like he could be like East Indian, but he's from Trinidad. He's a Dogla. He got the nice hair, so he had the fade with
Yeah.
the little ponytail, with the windsuit, with the Harachis on. Yo, he was banging. He was
Yeah.
colorful.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the gear, like the colors. It was different from that grunge look, like what Das Effects was rocking, and
Uh-huh.
like at that time, also Redman was rocking. Like when he did rock his little North Face, it was dark colors. People didn't want to be seen. In all
Right.
actuality, like
High vis.
if you're doing crime and like you're selling drugs, you
Right.
really don't want to be seen. Like
Right.
you wanna look different, but you really don't want to be wearing no bright colors. Yo,
Right.
look at DMX, like the
Right.
whole bright yellow and black heli suit.
Yeah.
Like look at
The
LL
high
Cool
vis
J with the red
the
with the red and
transition from
black.
like
You
subdued
see
to
the
high vis. Yep.
transition. And I mean, and all that's hip hop because like when I seen that video, I'm like, yo, what the hell is that straw thing going on there? Like, I didn't even
Right.
know there was a hydration bladder. Like, it made me want to do homework. So I would literally walk from 90th all the way to Park Place to Tenton
Mhm.
Trails. I would be there like every day. Finally, they were like, yo, why don't you just take the catalog? Because they seen I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And I wasn't buying. I was a window shopper. Didn't
Sure.
have it like that. So I
Not
would
cheap
take
stuff, especially
no,
Gore-Tex.
nowhere near cheap. Like
Right.
back in the day, if those kids had it, in all actuality, like I'm not trying to shout it out, but most likely it was boosted.
Mhm.
Or if not, they purchased it from a booster. Like when I got my first piece, it was purchased from somebody who boosted it. So you know how you say half price new. I mean, it's expensive gear, bro.
Yes.
You would see gear kids like with the Gore-Tex boots on, $200. Back then, yo, that's a lot of money.
Right. Oh, yeah.
The whole suit, let's say, yo, you got kids going to school in $1,000 gear and they're switching it up. It's like every day, bro.
Right.
Like straight up. We didn't do it. I didn't in my early day, we didn't do it like that.
Right.
I'm talking this is later, 98, 99, because by then, you know, we have the videos, we have people going back and forth, we got people cutting
Mhm.
class in different schools, playing
Mhm.
hooky. So now it spreads like wildfire.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Miami Beach. I grew up in Miami. So
Right.
we had obviously no need for Gore-Tex, but
Right.
what was big for us and the kids who were into hip hop and the crossover for skating too, like in the 90s,
Mm.
Nautica was big,
Right.
Tommy was big, Polo was always around.
Right.
So I get where you're talking about when you're like you mentioned the lowlifes like first getting into like Claiborne and kind of like those like department store brands that kind
Mm.
of weren't, they were kind of not, it was something like your parents wore, but you weren't wearing it the same way that your parents wore it. And
You wearing it oversized, you wearing it
yes,
bigger. Because like I say, you want to swag it out. Like, I
yes,
mean, it's a style. Like, I mean, look at Crisscross. Look at the way and those dudes, they're from Atlanta. Those were little kids. We're talking 93.
yeah,
Look at the video. They
yeah,
have on like the fat sneakers, the air raids. They have the jeans on backwards, but the jeans are like super duper baggy.
right.
So and then look, they're wearing like the starter jacket or the starter hat with the.
Hmm.
So it's all about trying to swag it. It's all about like I guess you know you want to look different
Yeah.
because I'm telling you like no disrespect, we could take anything and wear it, and we're gonna wear it different, and people are gonna notice us. You're
Yeah,
gonna notice us.
there is something about, and that's probably lost now just because of the internet and everybody kind of just looks at what everybody else is doing and in a good way. Like we kind
Right.
of, people can see all over the world now how people are dressing and the style and incorporate it into
Trend.
their own flavor. But
Right.
for a long, New York had it on lockdown for a very long time. You always had kind of like that West Coast flavor and maybe the Southwestern stuff. But in terms of like for city kids, it was
Mm.
New York. You go out to New York, you go to the shops. Where'd you get those? Oh, I got it in New York. Where'd you get that? I went to New York. I went to this shop there. I remember when I left Miami for college, I went to Syracuse and I
Wow.
didn't know how to dress for the winter. Like I knew how to go. I knew
Right.
how to go to like snowboard somewhere and what to wear
Yeah.
for snowboarding, but I didn't know how to do it casually. Like I just didn't, I couldn't figure it out. I never had to figure it out. Like
Right. Right.
I never had a need for sweaters. I never had a need for like warm pants.
Right.
But it took seeing the kids from New York, seeing the kids from New York State to kind of figure out for me what connected for me as a city kid,
Right.
how to kind of put it all together. And that's kind of when I personally discovered how cool North Face was, because for me, it was always like, oh, that's like mountaineering stuff, which is cool. It looks
Right.
cool. Like, on Sven
Right.
on this photo of,
Right.
summiting a mountain, but
Mhm.
I didn't know how to incorporate it into everyday style. So when I started seeing some of these kids, these New York kids, and I'm talking even New York State, Buffalo kids from
Right.
like Albany, wearing like layering it with the North Face vest and putting it all together, I think
Yes.
something clicked for me,
Yes.
you
And,
know?
and the thing is like in all actuality, it's like a bug, man. It's kind of like, and it happens with I don't want to say it happens with everything because a lot of people look at me and they probably like, yo, you got a problem, like you're sick, like you wear North Face like every day, summer, winter, fall. And the thing is like once you get one and you like it, you end up getting them like all like every
Yeah.
color,
Yeah.
and it becomes a sickness. And I mean, it's funny. It hasn't happened with other brands. Like I've never really bought any other brand before since like '93. I've tried to always like talk people into the brand, and I've tried other brands. Like the other day, I bought an Arc jacket, and and I'm just being honest. I just wanted to see what it was about because you see the trends and all that. And I was like, yeah, all right. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. It's technical, and the Dead Bird Society and all that. But I mean, I haven't gotten. I haven't went and bought another one.
Tell me, why North Face? For
I
you.
don't, for me personally, I mean, the movies like Red Dawn, and then like how I got my first piece, like the way how I got my first piece, it was a birthday gift. So it's just I guess the memories. Sometimes they say people get stuck far as like the way they dress when they had the best memories. A lot of people say that. And I guess the 90s for me, 93 was a good year for me. And I guess I must have just got stuck. And I mean, it's good gear, like in all honesty, like if it didn't have the logo on it, I mean, because I would still rock it. Like I'm right now I'm searching for like a couple of pieces that didn't have the logo on it. Not a blacked out logo, but no logo at all. And it's just good gear. I may not say I don't want to say this. I don't want people to take it out of context, but some may say, and I may not say it, but some may say that the quality of TNF has fallen off a bit. It's like it's not really like a technical brand anymore. It's more like a fashion brand. Like they're trying to like get numbers out. But I have certain pieces that come out. Yeah, I'll collect those and I'll get every color. I'm sorry, it's a sickness. So yeah, you ask why North Face? I mean, why not?
I like
You
that.
know,
What,
why not?
what have you bought recently from North Face?
A mountain jacket that we're waiting to come in. It's a 86 mountain jacket.
Mhm.
It's high vent, and of course, like I have a thing with mountain jackets, like mountain jackets and mountain lights. So,
Yeah.
and it's a new colorway that came out. So, I figured, why not? The wifey saw it. She was like, "Hey, I like that."
Yeah.
She was like, it may not be your style, but why don't you get it? So, but I mean, I can't help it. Oh yeah, Basecamp wallets. I'm always buying Basecamp wallets. I have like a sickness like with the wallets.
Why is that?
I don't know. I guess it's just like a way to represent. Like when you go pay for something,
Yeah.
and you'll look at somebody else, and like they'll hear the Velcro, like, and then and that person will look, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I see you."
There is
So I
something
don't
very
know. It's
soothing about that sound when you hear
yeah,
Velcro
yeah.
come out.
Especially when you're gonna go pay for something too. Like
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like, what the hell is that? Oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh okay. Oh, you're a face head. You got like a lot of face stuff.
Who says that North Face has lost quality? I mean, especially like with Gore-Tex stuff. I mean, that's pretty much if you see something's Gore-Tex, it's going to last a long time. I mean,
Yeah, but
there is like I have heard that like since they changed their distribution, people complain about the North Face quality, but I haven't heard anybody saying for like functionality that North Face has fallen off.
what, bro? Man, listen. I mean, I know I slowed down a lot, like, because I don't want to sound like I'm bashing, because I'm not bashing. Sometimes I may say I'm brutally honest, but I mean, hey, we have like a small community, we have like a small following, and hence the name, of course, Gore-Tex Hoarders. But don't get it twisted. We don't only wear Gore-Tex, because they'll have some pieces that TNF will come out with that is not necessarily Gore-Tex, but it's fire.
Yeah.
But I mean, TNF USA, they really don't deal with Gore-Tex anymore. They moved away from Gore-Tex. But TNF Japan, even though it's kind of like a different, it's Goldwyn. But I mean, it's still TNF. All the stuff they coming out with is Gore-Tex.
Right.
And it's fire.
What do you
It's
mean?
hot.
What do you mean North Face is Goldwyn? What do you mean?
Well, okay, I'll put it this way. Japan, North Face, and North Face USA, it's like two totally different. VFC owns TNF USA,
Right.
and Goldwyn has so you see like Purple Label, like that's like their own thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
so I don't know if you ever remember like the prototype store in Brooklyn.
No.
We used to have like a special store. It was a specialized store that I don't know how they worked that out, but they used to sell a lot of JDM, TNF JDM, like,
Wow.
and it was like Purple Label. I mean, a lot of beautiful stuff. And oh Lord, I hate being so tall. Like I'm 6'4",
Uh-huh.
so that stuff is like not gonna fit me.
What year was this shop around?
It was around like what, like maybe like what, like 4 years ago.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
It's
well,
not like an old vintage shop.
no, it's not like an old vintage shop. It was like a little, it was like a little shop in Brooklyn
Yeah.
for like, it was like an urban shop.
Yeah.
You know, like they called it the prototype store. Like we even had parties there. Like it
Yeah.
was beautiful, man. The only reason they're not there, I think, is because of the space that they chose. I think there was something like wrong with the space, like architecturally.
Yeah.
Anytime it used to rain, I think it used to like flood or something like that. But the whole idea of getting that community together, so you would get like urban community, you would get like the neighborhood community, and then the alpine community. They would all just
Yes.
meet up in this one spot, and they would like throw parties, they would throw events, and it was a beautiful thing. I mean, it's not there anymore, and it's definitely needed because when you go to the normal flagship stores, it's just basically like retail. You know, you go there,
Right.
you buy, and then you get out. But when it
Right.
was the prototype store, it's more like a home place. Like they had couches, you could sit down, you could meet people. They had like a little area where they used to do the barbecues. It was good. It was good. It's definitely missed, but I mean, our community that we have, like, we're very anal. So that's why you may hear me say like the quality has fallen off because we're used to, you know, the vintage Gore-Tex. And then when they did release Gore-Tex, you know, we rather, you know, most dudes rather Gore-Tex. They're paying that money. They rather get Gore-Tex, you know, versus, you know, the other technologies, you know. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not bashing them, but you know, that's what we rather. You got to
I
remember this Gore-Tex. I mean, it means so much, you know, Seinfeld. I mean, it's just so many things. Like, you know, it just has that meaning. Like people, it's kind of like, I don't know, like back in the day, if you ever heard of like the Cuomo's, and I'm talking about like back in the day, you
uh
know, a lot of people would tend to like vote for anybody that has that Cuomo name for the simple fact is that they was just so used to hearing Cuomo,
Sure.
Mario Cuomo, you know, da da da. So you grow up, you always hear Gore-Tex, 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 you know, you respect it.
Sure.
And that's what you want to pay your money for. And plus, you know, it has a guarantee, man. I mean, like, I love Gore-Tex. Like, you always see like something referring to like my name, like with like a Gore-Tex logo or
Yeah.
the diamond. Like,
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people's flipped it. Like, why not? But
Yeah.
that's
I
what
mean,
that's my take.
I've always known it for as like a moniker of quality that it's not gonna lose its function when you need it to, especially
Right.
like in the snow or on a mountain. Like it's not gonna crap out.
That's what
Eh,
you're paying for.
It's not gonna rip on the lift line. It's not gonna shred when you put it over your boots or whatever. Like it's gonna stay pretty tough.
Yeah.
Um, what year are those behind you?
All
Are
right.
those
This one,
vintage?
yeah, this one. Now these are this is my baby right here. This is my '92. No
Wow.
logo. Ladder lock, Gore-Tex, made in Philippines. I mean, I have some other ones, but like these are like my favorites. These are like my go-to. These are like the new ones. These are all the retros, the 1990 retros. So you have the Persian orange. If I'm not mistaken, I think you have like the city green and the
Mhm.
tumbleweed.
Oh,
And then, you know, we have damn, I can't remember the name of that purple. It's not
that's a nice
Fox
purple.
purple. Yeah, and I call it like Barney purple. Like they came out with Fox purple. It was more like a plum. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love this purple though.
Is the yellow one from? You said it's from '92.
Yeah, it's from '92. It's the one that basically that TNF used to reference, like to bring these jackets out.
Yeah.
Anytime TNF like called us like to do any type of like archive projects with them, we will always bring that out. They did a 50th celebration with like Vice magazine and Garage magazine. We brought that out.
Wow.
So like it's like a vintage piece. I also have like the older one, the silk screen. Like I try to collect like all years of the mountain jacket,
Yeah.
you know, because it's like I said, it's a sickness, you know.
So when did the mountain jacket, like when was the first issue of that one?
85.
Wow. And how hard is it to find an 85 edition? Are they all shredded up because like it was just all
Oh
for
no,
mountain
no,
guys?
no. In all actuality, you'll find the problem with the 85s, and of course, it all depends about if you want it like for function, for memorabilia, or if you want to just have it because the 85s they're silkscreen. So
Mm,
you may see an 85 on eBay and see that the logo is like you may think it's like deteriorating, and you
right.
may not even know that it's silkscreen because you may not have that knowledge, and you may be like, oh wow, the embroidery is shot, so you may not even want to buy that jacket.
Right.
But a real collector will know, like, yo, that joint is silkscreen, bro. Like, yo, it's faded. You see how that shit's faded, bro? So it all depends on the collector. Like it all depends on the buyer. Like, cause I'm gonna be honest, like I'm an OCD buyer. So when I buy a jacket, I don't want no marks on it. I
Yeah.
don't want no stains on it. I want it in pristine condition.
Right.
But I'm also a collector that also collects things like for archive reference.
Yeah.
So I'll buy a jacket that's silk screen and it's all beat up because I'm looking at the inside. I want to see if the inside has the mesh
Hmm.
lining or no lining at all. And if it does have the mesh lining, does it have the logo with the guy inside wearing it, the whole suit? So
Oh,
so it has like you have like different years when it comes to like the 85 silk screen mountain jacket.
was the functionality there from 85? Were the jackets bomb proof? They just had,
Oh,
but they were still silk screened?
the silk screen was just the logo because give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Um, the silk screen was basically just the logo, just so you could know that the jacket basically was North Face. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm actually looking for the mountain jacket that does not have the logo on it. So basically, the logo itself is just, so people will know. That's the only reason why.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, this is what I'm talking about. Like when you see, like when I would think of mountain gear, that's the image that would come into my head.
well, yeah, because this is
That
89
dude
and
right there,
90.
this guy.
This is 89 and 90. Like
Right.
this is like homeboy from Russia right here. And like, so like these are the jackets that I'm looking for. Like, so back to what we are saying, 85, that Gore-Tex was fucking bomb proof. Like
Yeah.
the reason why they use the overlays, of course, is like for
And
reinforcement,
backpacking and stuff like that. Yes.
and make sure we're not getting any seepage, of
Yeah.
course, because runoff, because
Yes.
it's so bulletproof that where the fuck is the water gonna go?
Right.
It's gonna have to run off and go somewhere. And if you're backpacking, or let's say, like you're literally using it for its
Ice
purpose,
climbing. Yes.
you understand? So that right there, once your core gets wet, that's it. Once you get damp, you're gonna feel cold. You're
Right.
not gonna enjoy what you're doing. So that's the reason why they went with Gore-Tex. And plus it's breathable. But yo, those 85s, no lie, like bulletproof. You could get an 85 right now. And I'm being honest, hasn't even been treated, right? And you will pour water on it and the water will still be
Crazy.
like literally. And I'm just being honest, like I'm brutally honest. Pour water on one of these retros, like for a while, like after a while, and
You'll
it'll
get damp.
start to dampen out. You'll see it.
Right.
And like I said, I'm just being honest. And of course, technology, like the Gore-Tex and the proofing that they used back then, like bro, like in all honesty, it's probably harmful to us, but goddamn, that shit was bulletproof.
Right. Where were they made? Where's North Face originally from? Do you know?
Berkeley,
They're Berkeley?
yeah, and you'll see it, like you'll see like the OG labels, you'll see like Berkeley.
Uh-huh.
So that's how, and of course it's USA. Like that's how you could tell the difference in the brown label. Like
Yeah.
you could see how old it is. Like you'll see a brown label and you'll be like, oh, okay, it's just a brown label logo. Wow, that's super
Yeah.
duper old. And
Yeah.
then when you see the one where it literally says made in USA, you'll be like, okay, all right, now we're going a little bit, we're going 78 and higher. Because remember they changed their logos, and a lot of people don't know the history of the logos, but
I don't
we
know the
we,
history.
we tend to love the black box logo. The
Right.
89 and 90, that's the logo that we're all familiar with.
Right.
But I mean, old school heads, we love like the brown label.
I had no idea that North Face is from Berkeley.
Yeah.
So
68.
what were those guys doing making mountaineering clothes? I mean, Berkeley is cold, but it's not that cold.
Well, you got to understand. I mean, remember the two people that made. I mean, you got Patagonia. You got Yvonne,
Yeah.
right? And then you got Doug. Like those are like best friends. And you got to remember the reason why they started making gear because they weren't happy with the gear that was around at the time.
Yeah.
So remember, they started literally making carabiners. Like literally making
Yes.
gear. That's what they started making, and then of course you're going to progress from there. And if I don't know if you really know the history, like I can't show you.
I
Like
don't.
it's too
I don't.
small.
Let's get
But
into it.
remember, North Face literally used to make gear for the army.
I didn't know
So
that.
yeah, oh man, like yeah. I mean, like my son got to wear like the Gore-Tex for a reason. Like United States Marine Corps. Like I remember, like he was like, "Yo, Dad, you didn't go." But Dad, watch, man. I think I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna be really wearing that Gore-Tex. And yo, he did.
Yeah.
So I mean, remember, look at the technology, look at the daisy chaining in the backpacks, the lumber packs. Look at the look at it. You don't see
I get it.
Red Dawn, Vietnam, like
Yep.
so all
Oh,
this
it's
is.
all coming together for me right now, Joey.
I mean, think about it. Then the Gore-Tex, like, because if
Yes.
you look, like, put it this way, Jay has many faces. He has this Gore-Tex suit. He has like literally the whole suit, and this is military issue. When I say the suit, I mean he has the Polartec fleece. He has the balaclava. All this is made in USA.
Crazy.
No logo. If you see the logo is blacked out. And like I said, this is literally gear, military gear. North Face, Gore-Tex, bulletproof, literally right now. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a 90 and a 92 because he wasn't able to pair like the bib and the year. It's hard to get same exact year, but
Sure.
you can pour water on it right now and beads for days. So that's how the technical, and again, that's what I'm going to reference when we say, old school cats, yo, TNF kind of like fell off, because you see like what TNF was really made for. It was really
Right.
made for like Transantarctica, bro. Like, I mean, look at this. As soon as you open up this 89 catalog,
Yes.
and this is like Transantarctica gear, Gore-Tex, like, look at that. It's really made. So of course we're gonna adopt it. Us New Yorkers is fucking brick dogs when it gets cold. When
Right.
it rains, like, I mean, you really don't look cool in the rain standing around with an umbrella. It's bad enough we have to take mass transit. We're taking train, bus,
Yeah.
because we really don't have the means. And
Sure.
I mean, it's a metropolis. Like, you really don't need a car. Like, in all honesty, you can have it for weekend trips or whatever. But kids, I mean, a 16-year-old, unless he's a dealer, he's not really gonna have a car to go to school.
Yeah.
We want that gear. We want to make sure we're warm. Outside we're waiting outside 45 minutes, and we also want to look good in it.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I think dudes do look cool in it though, bro. Because in all honesty, I wear my gear the same way, bro, head to toe, the
Yeah.
same way. But I just maybe wear it a little bit bigger, or I may like swag it a little bit.
Yes. There's
You
a bit of
know?
an action figure quality to it. When you see like those old catalogs,
Mm,
it takes somebody who kind of gets style to bring that out, because again, it takes a New Yorker to see those photos of that dude with the dog sledding and being like, no, that's actually fly. That's not just technical stuff. That'll
right.
look good
Yeah.
on the street and on the subway. That's going to look good as I'm walking around. I'm going to look different, and it's actually going to have some like just major style appeal to other
Yeah.
people.
That's New York kids, man. I'm telling you, those
Yes.
village
So
kids.
where does that come from? Like, who was like? Was there a person like that? Like North Face heads and technical gear aficionados like look to? Like, was there some type of like, I don't know, like godfather of this sort of thing?
I mean, well, now, everybody always looks forward, like when they say anything technical, TNF, Poster's gonna get that. P Shines, he's gonna get that. Like, his collection is hard body. He does doubles, triples. Because I'm gonna be honest, like I said, I'm going back to the Gore-Tex Hoarder reference.
Yeah.
Wifey had bins of gear, like that's what you call like the hoarding, like
Yes.
doubles, triples. I didn't know it to that extent. I'm being honest. Like, I'm from CPW. Like, if I have one or two pieces, I'm cherishing those pieces and I'm building up my pieces as each
Yeah.
season comes. Yo, I'm gonna get me another Denali. Yo, I
Right.
seen the charcoal Denali. I want that. Yo, I seen the backpack. Yo, I seen that Jester. I want another one.
Yes.
But then you gotta give props to the boosters and these dudes that are like just hoarding. Like, that term is not a bad term. Like, the
Right.
only reason we came up with it because they had other crews. And when I started posting on Instagram, I thought it was cool. So like I would post like those crews' name, and dude was like, yo, bro, not for nothing. Like, I see you giving props, but yo, bro, you're not down with that crew. Like, no disrespect. Like, tell your mans in them, stop hashtagging that. I was like, all right, bro, like it's all good.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for my boy Seth, like OG Adams, he was like, when we came up with it, we left it alone. Like, me and Jenny must have said it a couple times. I remember I said it over in Jay's house when we was at the vault, because he has like all the gear. That's where all the gear is kept. We call it the vault.
Uh-huh.
And we would be there chilling, drinking, burning. And the name would come up. But OG Adams was the one who was like, yo, bro, like that's the crew. That's the crew right there. It's all about Gore-Tex Hoarders. And we was like, yo, bro, calm down. Like, we're not trying to start no beef or nothing. He's like, nah, it's not no beef, but like those cats keep on like, like trying to like disrespect. when we all do the same shit, we all love
Yeah.
gear.
Yeah.
So that's who you got to give props to, like the hoarding. Like I
Yes.
never understood that. And when she pulled out those bins and showed me like 4 of the same pants, I'm like why? She's like, yo, because I like it and I'm gonna keep it and it's good quality. And if I only have one, I may mess it up like 5 years down the road. And I'm like, but why would you want to? I didn't think like that. I'm like, why
Right.
would you want to have it like 5 years down the road? She was like, because I like it. And I guess, she didn't collect. She didn't think of it as collecting. She
Right.
thought of it as, hoarding it. And
Did
I was like,
she did she get it from her mother or her father? Like, where did she get the concept or the idea to go for the North Face stuff? Was it a
well,
family member, or did she just see it? Did she see a
I'm gonna be
catalog?
honest with you, like put it this way, like first, like like this is her story. All right. I don't know if you know, like, Channel 13, all kids would see him, bling, 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 bling. He would come in, he would take his sweater off, he would take his sweater off, he put it in the closet.
You talking about Mr. Rogers?
Of course,
Oh, okay,
bro.
okay. Of course I
Right.
do. Yeah, but he threw the cardigan on.
Exactly. But but look at his collection though.
Oh,
Did you
right.
not look at the closet? You got to
Right.
remember, we're talking New York City kids. We didn't have it like that.
Right.
So he took off his outside sneakers.
And
You
put on the
notice,
inside ones.
put on his inside sneakers, and
Yes.
did you not notice there was more than just 2 pair of sneakers there? Like he had a
Yes.
couple that were stacked up. So that's where she got her imagery from. She was
Yes.
like, "Listen, yo, like I don't got it like that, but when I work, I'm gonna have it like that because I like how he
Yes.
has it.
Yes.
He's clean. You understand? So
Yes.
I'm sure that right there clicked in a lot of other kids' heads, as sure as hers, and then you got to remember her grandmother, the abuelas back in the day, remember these abuelas were thrifting before thrifting was thrifting. They
Right.
would go to these thrift stores and bow and keep it. And then the thing is like they would want to like hand it down. Remember, we lived a lot off of hand-me-down. So
Yeah.
you would tell that kid, don't mess that up, keep it clean,
Right.
because you got to hand it down to the next generation. So now
Yeah.
all that right there, that's kind of like hoarding because now you're keeping it because
Yes.
it's good quality.
Yes.
So that's what embedded that in her head. As far as like North Face, of course, hip hop, you see people wearing it.
Yes.
I think she had like a bear or something like that. She didn't want it. Like we didn't want the bear, we wanted the quality. I think
Yes.
her first jacket, if I'm not mistaken, was a McMurdo. Like this is a serious parka.
Oh, one
When
of
I
those.
say
Yep.
when I say McMurdo, I mean, Antarctica, like
Yes.
before Trans-Antarctica parkas were like famous, or before they were like popping, a lot of people remember that big logo as the McMurdo. It was a big puffy jacket, and a New Yorker would want that because he wants to be warm.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And then of course, the imagery of the Nuptse jacket, that's that because Nuptse and hip hop, like that's one in one. All the
Yeah.
kids rocking it. That's one in one right there. Like North Face owes a lot of shit to those kids that was rocking Nuptses, bro.
Yes. Where so
Not
what's the
really the
first
Gore-Tex
video?
heads.
What's the first video that you can recall that you see the Nupsi?
Damn, so many. I mean, LL Cool J,
He was had it?
Lauryn
Which
Hill,
one?
yeah. He had the all black one, but he had the all black Nupsi. Lauryn
Uh-huh.
Hill had the all black Nupsi,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken. But my reference, as far as like with the bubble though, was Redman, but he had the Sagamartha on though.
Yes.
And remember, you may not draw the reference because the logo was blacked out because at that
But the
time.
imagery, the look, the silhouette, the bubble silhouette.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So again, remember, it's blacked out, but it was still popping. So it's
Yes.
not necessarily the name; it's the rapper. If you see how Redman was swagging that, and then
Yes.
like yo, I could keep the Desert Eagle in there. You like,
Yes.
so it's all about Redman swag because remember, he's not New York, bro. Redman is is New Jerusalem. He's
Oh, he
Jersey.
is? Okay.
Yeah, he's Jersey because
But that counts, no?
you can't leave out the Jersey cats. There was a lot of
No.
Jersey cats rocking gear too. Like
Right.
remember Tame? I don't know if you remember like Artifacts in that video.
Yes.
A
Of course.
lot of polo, like
Snow sticks
see the
more in Jersey. Snow doesn't stick so much in New York City. So you kind
right,
of, if you're living in Jersey, it sticks. Yeah.
exactly. So hip hop. I'm telling you, yo, TNF owes a lot to like the rappers and those kids. I'm
Yes.
telling you because, like, in all honesty, the only reason why I had a Nupsi, I never really wore a Nupsi like outside, like as a jacket.
Yeah.
Number one, I was always slim. I always had this type of neck. So that's why I love the shell. I love the hood of the shell. So when I did get my Nupsi, I used it as a layering piece.
Yeah.
You understand? Like I remember seeing my cousin's homeboy. I think he had that purple, the Barney purple. He
Hmm.
had that Nipsey, and I remember when I came in with my Gore-Tex jacket, and he saw it. He was like, "You could." I mean, because it's always like a battle. Like a person that has the Nipsey will be like, "Yo, that this is garbage," because they see how thin it is, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, you man coal in that, bro." Not understanding that it's a layering system. Like,
Right.
yeah, like like you got to layer it up. But yo, my man, when it rains, when that wind is blowing, in all honesty, I know you cold. Like, you understand? So that's the reason why I never did the Nipsey. But I always used to overheat. So I wouldn't want to rock a Nipsey with the hoodie, with the t-shirt and all that. So I more so went for the shell. I could rock
Yes.
the shell with a Denali. I like the
Right.
pit zips. I could ventilate.
Yes.
And
Right.
then, I just love the Gore-Tex. So that's what did it for me. But those Nipseys, man, those kids, those city kids, when I talk about city kids, I'm talking about art and design, graphics, all those kids that went to those schools, humanities. These are kids that not everybody lived in that zone. A lot of people traveled. So it spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
The cafeteria, the strip, just like how it does now. Like,
Yes.
look at style now. Like, you know, back then, maybe, North Face was probably, like a girl getter or fashion, but, like fast forward now, in all honesty, regular TNF ain't dropping no panties, bro. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So when you
Right.
see heads rocking like that, that's loyalty. Like
Yes.
it's not a fashion statement. Like they rocking it because it's the loyalty of the gear. They're not
Yes.
rocking it because,
It has become standardized, but it's also very classic. Like there's like the trendy companies that, and when I say trendy, I just mean that they're in. I mean, I'm not
right.
saying that they're not quality. Like Arc is cool, Patagonia is cool, but like there's something about North Face that is very kind of classic and just hard. Like that logo is just hard. You see the
This
Patagonia
was
logo, it's pretty cool. It's like nature and stuff like that. It's classic, but that North Face logo, like that's tough.
plus it's big and it's in your face, especially the big logo.
Yes.
And then it's white. That's why like you like if you're a face head or a collector, I don't want to say a face head because don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted like with the crew face heads. But like, a face head is a person that wears, like all things face. He'll have like the hat, the t-shirt, he'll have like the hoodie, the jacket, he'll have the belt, the pants, head to toe. And I'm like, in all honesty, if you're a collector, bro, you gotta have like all black gear. You gotta have that black mountain jacket, the black
Yes.
Denali, the black mountain pants. Why? Because that black. I know I don't have it lined up here because I wore it earlier with my son.
Uh-huh.
But that black logo just looks something hot on
Yeah.
black on black.
Yes. And when
You
it's
know,
all when you got the whole kit on,
yeah, the
huh?
whole kit. And like, yeah, and I mean, I'll do the tech hat, I'll do like the
Yeah.
Denali Gator, I'll probably do like the Pomori fleece, the mountain jacket, like I'll do the whole and dudes will be like, yeah, I see you. I'm like, all right.
So now that like now I don't personally believe this, but you referencing what you just said,
Mm,
people a common kind of person who's maybe just getting into fashion or like whatever, they check Instagram a lot, or they're just kind of like a trend hopper.
right.
They would see North Face as basic. So that's kind of an advantage for someone like you and your crew.
Mhm.
So have you been picking up any steals recently because North Face isn't kind of necessarily popping right now?
Well,
Or does the vintage stuff hold value?
vintage stuff holds value, but it's all about the market. In
Yeah.
all actuality, the market had got saturated, and I could say we have the blame for that, but when we started doing this stuff on Instagram, like it was just a couple of us, and us vintage heads, like that ended up turning into Gore-Tex hoarders. You didn't want to be alone. Like that's why we came out like with the crew and like started like showing it to everybody because you don't want to be alone. Like you're rocking it, and you see somebody else. You get the head now. You'll see somebody on the train, bro, like all the way on the other side of the train, and you'll see a fucking mountain jacket, and you'll
Yes.
you'll know. Like you'll be like, oh shit, that's just ladder lock. If you see his ladder lock, you're gonna look at the arm, or there's no logo. Yo, that's a 90 B. Like, and then they'll, it's like a common respect. And the thing is like that dude over there may not be like a Gore-Tex hoarder. That may be like his only shell that he had
Right.
since high school,
Or his
and
dad gave it to him.
or his dad gave it to him. That he stole it
Yes.
from his closet,
Yeah.
right? And he doesn't even really know about it. But then when he sees you and he sees how you're rocking, he's like, "Yo, there's still dudes doing that, like
Yes.
for real." Like because remember, I didn't get on Instagram until I started working. Like, I mean, stop working. Like, I ended up getting a couple of injuries because I was always a technician.
Okay.
Always been a technician. A couple falling off ladders, a couple car accidents or whatever. So when I had got my biggest injury, I was home for a couple of what? I think I was home like for 3 months, and I was driving myself insane. And that's when wifey was like, "Yo, bro, like you love North Face. Like all you do is talk about it. You wear it. You got me wearing it." He was like, "You got my parents wearing it again." He was like, "Yo, why don't you just do it like on Facebook? Like take photos of your gear and put it on Facebook." And in all honesty, I've always hated the way I look because I was always slim. I was always the one taking photos. Was never photogenic. So I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't really have photos of myself rocking the gear." So then that's when she told me, she was like, "Hey, why don't you practice with the camera at home, doing selfies or whatever, and just show people your gear." So when I first started on Facebook, I'm gonna be honest, like I wasn't really that great. I didn't know about like taking like photos of myself. So she put me on. She was like, "Hey, look at your background. People don't want to see all kind of this, like disarray. They want to focus on the gear, and then like look how you're putting the gear together." So she was the one who gave me like the blueprint. Once I got on Instagram and I found other dudes doing it as well, it was like a bug. And that's that right there is what got the reminiscing, man. I'm telling you, like, I would meet people and they were like, bro, I was going through a midlife crisis, man. I was going through like a depression. And yo, you brought me back, man. Like, my wife wants to thank you. Like, I was going through a slum, man. And me rocking gear again. Yo, you got me on eBay. I was able to find that jacket that I had in high school when I had a good memory, or I got that book bag. And yo, bro, you brought me back. Thank you. And basically, that's all we wanted to do, like to form a community of people that love gear because we all love gear, like, and a lot of people love North Face.
Is the Nuptse still considered the classic? Like, is that the
Yeah,
North
that's
Face piece?
yeah. Anytime somebody sees that reference, the Nuptse, anytime somebody sees that silhouette, yeah, that's TNF's flag. Like they owe everything. That's always going to be their cash crop. The
Yeah.
Nuptse. They could come out with it in many colors. It's kind of like Nike with the Air Force One and
Right.
the Jordan ones or whatever.
Yeah.
It's their classic. Also the Mountain Jacket as well and the Mountain Light.
Yeah.
Like those are
I
the
like the
three.
mountain jacket a lot.
That's their iconic like go-to, but they leave it alone for a while, then they bring it back, and then it's variations.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, hey, it's a classic. Why not mix it up and then bring it back to OG and then mix it up again? I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Even though
There's
they
so many
always,
different ways that you can style it too, and there's so many different colors.
yo, I love the color. I mean, well, I don't love all of them, but the ones that I love, I have them. Put it that way.
What are you excited about now with North Face? Are they putting out anything now that you're really into?
No, as far as like for me, no. In all honesty, like, no.
Strictly
Because there's
vintage.
Yeah, like right now, I've gone back to the vintage. I mean, the whole reason why me and my homeboys did what we did, far as like with the Pirates with TNF, was so we could get all of this stuff back.
Yes. Right.
Because in all actuality, like, yeah, we do love the vintage, and we do have our grails and our go-tos and the ones we have our hearts to. But I mean, some of these jackets are like 30 years old. Some of them are not really, they're good for looks, but like functionality, they're probably really not going to function that great. So
Mhm.
that's the reason why we really try to focus on getting these retros, so we could get that same style, that same nostalgia, the same look, but get the functionality. But I
What's
guess
the
somehow they dropped the ball.
what's the golden age for North Face? Like, what pocket of you? What era are you looking for when you are looking for vintage? Like 85 to what? 92?
Yeah, well, basically it depends on what I'm trying to get though. Like if
Yeah.
it's like mountain jacket, like mountain lights, like it all depends on what you're after. Because remember, like if you're trying to get yourself like a search and rescue, you're looking for like 97, you're looking like for 98. If you find a prototype, if you could find a 95 prototype, like the sample. So it all depends on what line you're really looking for. Because remember, there's a lot of lines. You have the expedition line,
Right.
you have, like the Summit Series line, which, a
Yep.
lot of people don't like the Summit Series line, the Heli line. So it
They
all
don't
depends
like
on,
wait, they don't like Summit Series? Why is that just mainline stuff?
well, I mean, well, in all actuality, I mean, 99 Summit Series got counterfeited, bro. Like that was like where TNF fell off hard, man. Like,
Really?
yeah, bro,
I
TNF
didn't
was
know that.
counterfeited. Yeah, well, I guess that's like in the collector's realm.
Right.
Collector's realm, they'll tell you that, like, that's when the counterfeiting got like ridiculous. With
Huh.
Steep Tech, a lot of the Steep Tech started getting counterfeited. I mean, you was able to buy a fucking North Face jacket. It was so bad out of a trunk,
Right.
and the majority of them were Summit Series. Like You know, and I ain't ashamed to say it. I remember when I used to wear my gear at work. Like I used to be a technician, so I was always either a low voltage technician or a cable technician. So I literally used to wear my gear at work. I remember one day I was like in I think I was on White Plains Road, no lie. And there was like it was a store in the corner. I think it was over there by was it Burke Ave or Allenton? Can't remember. Long story short, I saw a yellow and black mountain jacket, and it was like the older one, like the 99. And I was like, wow. I was like, yo, bro, I might as well buy that for work. Because again, like I said, I wasn't like on Instagram.
Right.
I had a kid young. So I really didn't have that privilege to be like hanging out and taking photos and doing like the club scene like everybody else did. I was a workaholic, always a
Good.
technician, always working. I was always a contractor. So I was always working. So when I saw that fucking jacket, I was like, yo, I want that.
And you
Because
had
it's
the money because you're
Gore-Tex.
working.
And but I need it because of the functionality.
Uh-huh.
I'm up on pose, and you know, like
Yeah.
my other Gore-Tex jacket and got messed up, my Mountain Light. So I was like, yo, let me buy it. I go in the store. I think the lady was like $70. Yo, it had the Gore-Tex tag, had the North Face tag. Looked at it real quick and was like, yo, I want that. I'm gonna buy it. Yo, bro, when I took it home and I started looking at it, I was like, yo, hold on. Why is the zipper on the other side? I
Right.
looked at the black box logo and I'm like, yo, you know, because it's been a minute since I've, you know, all
Sure.
my other TNF that I had in the closet, if my son didn't take it, it got deteriorated.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, something's wrong with this fucking jacket. Long story short, the jacket's a fake. Looks
That's what
like
it takes. Like when you first start getting into something, I feel like collectors encounter this quite often when they start really diving in. You have to kind of
you
go through
gotta,
that.
yeah, you got to because that now you're not. It's gonna click here, and you're gonna be like, yo, bro, I need to get back up on my fucking shit.
Yes, I have to
And
educate myself.
and once I realized that that shit was fucking fake, excuse my French, but I'm a New Yorker, I can't help to
No, no,
curse.
no. Do your thing.
But bro, I was like, yo, fuck this shit. And I ain't gonna lie, I told Jenny, I was like, yo, this is a fake. She was like, it can't be, sweetheart. You wouldn't fall for a fake. She was like, yo, and I had, you know, shit in my closet. I had like 4 steep techs, you know,
Uh-huh.
I had like steep gear, but
Yeah.
I didn't have no gore. So I
Right.
was like, yo, I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to tents. She was like, what's that? You know, because you know, people that know we don't say tent and trails, we say tents. I was like, I don't even know if they open. You understand?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, long story short, I go down there and they're fucking open. And I walk through the door, I see Titan Trails, I see the darkness, you know, World Trade Center is still there.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You come out, Park Place, it's darkness because the Twin Towers, they're there.
Yeah.
So when I turn the corner and I see the fucking tent, I see the tent sign, I'm like, yo, as soon as I go through the door, no lie, I haven't seen Ramon in so long. Like, I literally know the people at Tent and Trails, like Pops before, you know, rest in peace, the owner. Like I literally knew his kids, the wife. Like when Pops passed away, it was like that hurt. Like when I went back and I saw Ramon, and Ramon was like, Joey, I haven't seen you in so long. I was like, yo, I literally started to cry
Yeah.
because these people literally became like my family.
Yeah.
Like I literally got it. I literally like Pops even gave me a Noopsie one time for free.
Nice.
Like when I took one of my mountain lights to get sent back for warranty repair, back then TNF took so fucking long. I remember this is how I got my Noopsie because I went with my Denali and I was like, I asked Pops, I was like, when am I gonna get back my jacket? And he called back warranty department. They didn't pick up the phone, and he was like, yo, I can't have you go the whole winter without a jacket. Yo, he gave me a Noopsie, my first Noopsie.
Incredible.
Yeah, he literally gave me my Nipsey. Like my father used to work at Liberty Street, like
Mhm.
so. And then you know we had a mom and pop flower shop, so it's kind of like a couple of things that built up to that relationship, that
Uh-huh.
respect. So then, bow. Long story short, I go back in maybe like the next year. This is still in my younger years, and yo, he calls the warranty department, and it's 2 years now, and he's like, yo, what the fuck? He's cursing at them to the warranty department. He's like, yo, I have my guy here. Like you guys had his Gore-Tex shell for so long. Da, 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 what's up with it? And it was like, yeah, we're gonna ship it. He was like, I don't even care if you guys are gonna ship it. Is it covered by the warranty? They were like, yeah. He was like, okay, I'm gonna send it to me. I want the jacket. We're gonna give him one off the rack. He hangs up the phone. And I remember that ladder lock mountain light, it was an extra large. And you know, I've always been 6'4"
Yeah.
from the time I passed 15. I stopped growing. So it was kind of young because it was built different. It's
Yeah.
a different cut. So I asked Pops, I was like, yo, Pops, since you're giving me a jacket, can I get a double XL? And he was like, yo, bro, you're pushing it. Like, I'm supposed to give you the same exact jacket they're sending me, but I love you, Joey.
Yeah.
take the jacket. So
Great.
that camaraderie, right? So now when they see me now, fast forward, Pops is sick. Like, he's like on his last days or whatever. And his wife is like running the shop now, but Ramon is still there. Ramon is a staple at Tent and Trails. Like the first time I went to Tent and Trails, I met Ramon. The second time, third time, Ramon was always there. He ended up becoming like, how do you say? He ended up becoming like my godfather. Like when it came to gear, he knew so much stuff about gear. And I'm like, Ramon, listen, I got this Mountain Light, man, and I think it's a fake, man. And I know Mountain Lights, they're not around anymore. You think you can get me a Mountain Light? And he's like, Joey, what are you talking about? Mountain Lights are not here anymore, bro. We have them all here. I was like, I mean, like the vintage one, like the one I had back in the day. He's like, yo, we still have them. Wow. Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore. Like,
The mom and pop, the relationship.
but them having the stock, like people are so savvy about dead stock and combing shops for finding out old,
And
stuff in the
trails,
back.
Tent and Trails back in the day, besides Down Generation, which was in what, 95th or 96 on Broadway, Tent and Trails is literally a outfitter. They're not necessarily just like a retail store, like no disrespect to Patagonia. I mean, to Paragon. Paragon, that's like a retail
Yeah, it was like a
chain
department store.
store. It's
Yeah,
like a department store.
yeah,
Tent and Trails is not that. Tent and Trails was a one-off store that literally sold alpine equipment for expeditions. Like
right.
they literally outfitted so many expeditions to Everest, to you name it.
And were there New Yorkers who were going out and doing these things, or were they shipping all over? Like, how
Tent
does
and
a
Trails
store like
shit.
Tent and Trails even like exist in
Word of
Manhattan?
mouth. They used to do trade shows,
Uh-huh.
word of mouth. And then you also have to remember, like, Tent and Trails used to have Sherpas working for them, like
Mm,
the real deal.
really?
I'm straight up. Like Tent and
Wow.
Trails was the real deal. Like they would always have a Sherpa on hand. And I'm telling you, you could go there at any given day and you would literally see like Pete Athens, you would see like Conrad Anchor. Like, and these are like OGs,
Yeah.
like dirt bags. Like, excuse the term again. I'm not saying it in
No,
a
it's a real the
derogatory.
mountain. That's a term. That's a
Yeah,
term. Yeah,
you would see like dirt bags there. You'd be like, oh shit.
that's
Like,
crazy.
like, and the thing is like if you ever went to Tent and Trails, they would have like all the posters like posted up, and you would see like a poster with Conrad Anchor with like like all the best. And I remember like when I first had a glimpse of Conrad, bro, I was so starstruck I couldn't even freaking speak to him. I'm like, oh shit, I think that's
Yeah,
Conrad.
yeah,
And he was like there, like literally, I think he was there like doing an interview, getting his stuff together to literally for an expedition.
yeah,
So Conrad ended up becoming like my idol, seeing him in catalogs and all that. And then
yeah,
fast forward now, as a grown man, I get to meet him and chill with him. And like, so, like
yeah.
that's and all that's behind like Tent and Trails.
Yeah, can we
Love.
dive into Tent and Trails a little bit more? I'm so
Yeah.
fascinated by it now. Now it's probably not there anymore.
No,
Did
it's not
it
there
close
anymore.
after
But I have, but I
9/11?
have a but I have a brick. I have a brick of Tent and Trails in my closet. So
Yeah,
it's always gonna be here in my heart. And I
yeah,
have a lot of stuff from Tent and Trails. Like I have pamphlets and stuff. Like
yeah.
I even think I have a pamphlet.
Is
One
Tent and
that
Trails considered a flagship for the community at large? Like, do people all over the country, if not the world, know about that shop? Is it like a legendary shop?
Tent and Trails is Mecca, man. Like you would
Yeah,
go to Tent and Trails and you would go in the front and you would be able to get a catalog.
yeah.
They would have catalogs of other brands. Tent and Trails will even have like their own like stuff that will let you know how to layer your gear.
Oh,
And like
wow.
this is like from Tent and Trails. It tells you clothing checklist for expedition. And it tells you what is a mid layer, what is a soft shell, what is a base layer, what not to forget, what to wear. This is all from Tent and Trails. Like, and they have so many things. Like, you would literally, if you needed to buy like maps, like if you wanted to go to Anorak,
Yeah,
or if you wanted to, like anywhere you wanted to go to Nepal, you would literally be able to find maps there. And like I said, when I say outfitter, I mean outfitter like from head to toe.
yeah,
You was able to get carabiners, you was able to get the boots, the sleeping bags,
yeah.
lantern, like you name it, whatever you needed for outdoor, you would literally get it there. It was a one-stop shop. I'm telling you, Tent and Trails, like people would come from near and far, bro. No lies told,
Yeah.
to go to Tent and Trails.
And were they like seeing kids like you coming in? that are
every
seeing
day.
people on the street, people seeing, music videos, just seeing street culture and streetwear culture. Would they see kids like you coming in and being like, what's going on here?
Well, yeah, but I mean, damn, I don't want to throw my age in there, but you got to remember, like I'm almost 50,
Okay,
so I started. I was always a gearhead. I grew up in across the street from Central Park West.
cool.
So Central Park West was literally, the spot. Like we had the Dwight School, the Trinity School, the Spencer School. So it's like, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then, Central Park is across the street. So you have like a lot of activities. You'll see people horseback riding,
Hmm.
people practicing golf, jogging, mountain biking. So I got into that type of environment at an early age, not only because my father's from Trinidad and every summer I would go back to Trinidad. So I'm literally what people call outdoors. To me, that was normal. Like, we go outside the house, it's bush. I'm out there playing with my slingshot, I'm hunting birds, I'm in the river, so like that's like second nature to us. So now I'm growing up in the city and we're still doing all these, activities or whatever. So I kind of got into gear a little bit earlier than some of like the kids wearing it as far as like fashion.
Yeah.
So when I started going to these stores, I'm going to these stores literally for gear.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of it. I used to fish, I'm an avid fisherman. I used to fish in Central Park every day. So
Cool.
I literally would go looking for gear. I would go to Herman's, Modell's, like looking
Uh-huh.
for, gear or whatever. So by the time they started seeing the kids, like I said, mom, pop, they gave like I used to get stuff for them for free,
Yeah.
because I was always there all the time. But if you fast forward, let's say 96, 97, 98 now,
Hmm.
where yeah, it's out there, like hip
Hmm.
hop, the kids, like, the low heads are going, it's like low heads. I ain't say low lives, but
Hmm.
low heads, people
Yeah.
that rock low.
Yeah.
They're going to school, people that rock, the village kids who rock North Face, they
Hmm.
were in extremes, Steve Tech. By then, these stores are getting hit. Tenton
Yes.
Trails was getting hit, Paragon was getting hit. And when I talk
Yes.
about getting hit, I'm talking about, yo, they going for the Gore-Tex.
Right.
They ain't really trying to bag like Nipsey's. They trying to get those hymns,
Highly technical stuff.
yes, the highly technical shit,
Yeah.
the triple layer Gore-Tex, the Kachatna, you know.
Yeah.
So by that time, they were, Tenton Trails was already up on it. And like I said, Tenton Trails was a mom and pop shop. You would go there, it would be so bad. And this is, old school people, will vouch. You would go in there, it would be jackets galore everywhere. So many jackets that you would see people literally sitting on ladders, tall freaking ladders, like on each end, to make sure that they could keep an eye on the jackets, because people would go in there and it
Uh-huh.
would either be up the back, you heard, or they would like literally like take one jacket off, put it on, foil it, the aluminum foil so the alarm won't go off. They'll
Hmm.
foil it and they were out. So sometimes it would be so bad that they would try to block the door and dudes would just bum rush the door.
Right.
I remember it would be times that you would go to Tenton Trails and like the door would be like all cardboarded up because dudes bum rushed it, and I would go there, and like I said, I knew pops on a different level because we always had a mom and pop shop. So like when I would go in there, I would feel his pain because I remember like when my stepmother's flower shop would get robbed, like that's coming out of our pocket. Like, he's not a big corporation, he has kids to feed. I
Hmm.
remember him there crying. He was like, it's kids that look like you, kids that were dressed like you, that came in here and bum rushed the store, Joey. Like, why? Like, why? Like, I liked it better when this thing wasn't like a fashion thing,
Yeah.
like he saw it, because he saw the rise of,
Yes.
of it. Because remember, like it wasn't only North Face, like like the boots, like the A Solo boots, like the backpacks and stuff. Jerry G, like you remember, Ten Trails didn't only just sell North Face; they
Right.
sold all type of brands. They sold Patty, they sold Spider. So that was almost the downfall of Tenton Trails. I remember Pops wanted to close it so many times, and I remember when he passed away, the kids really didn't even want anything to deal with it. If it wasn't for his daughters, because you remember mom was ailing as well. If it wasn't for the daughters taking it over, like Tenton Trails would have just went out of business. And like when the daughters wanted to get out of it, I heard the kids wanted to do something with it. It was a rumor, but then the building ended up like being unsafe because they were doing construction next door, and
Yeah.
Tense was old as fuck. So you
When did
know,
it close
damn,
officially?
damn, I can't even remember, man. Like I I was there like towards the end though, but
Yeah.
I
Was
can't
it
remember.
shortly after 9/11?
Oh, nah, nah, nah. Tent Trails was still open like around 2019 and all that, man.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
yeah, like I was still copping gear. Like I literally like there was always like spurts like where I would go to tents and then and because of course I was a workaholic, so
Sure.
I wasn't always available to like be going to tent trail. Like after work, I was a technician. I'd be fucking tired.
And
Weekends,
you
I'm
don't live in
tired.
Manhattan at this time, right? You're in Brooklyn, you
Yeah,
said?
no,
Or
well,
Bronx?
I'm in the Bronx now, so I'm no
Right.
longer in 90th and Central Park West. So
Right.
that trek wasn't I couldn't walk there,
Right.
but I don't know what it was, man. I was downtown, and I had got my mountain jacket. I had a couple of them, but this is where I started talking to North Face, and I ended up meeting one of my homeboys, who's my close friend now, and he was like, "Yo, Joey, I see what you're doing on Instagram, and we're thinking about bringing back some of the iconic jackets, and we don't have reference material." And that's how my relationship started with North Face. He was like, "Yo, bro, like, how many mountain jackets do you have?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a couple." And I started off like, "Yo, bro, but they're not like in good condition. Like they're beat up, bro. I used to wear them like to work." And he was like, "No, like, um, can we get your email?" And basically, that's like how it started, And we started talking, and I gave him a few jackets, and then we had a few meetings, but basically that's how that started. That's a whole separate story itself.
That's crazy that North Face contacted you about their archives. They didn't have stuff that you had?
Well, see, you got to understand, like North Face, it's a long history with like North Face, because you got to understand this company has been bought and sold many times.
And licensed and partitioned,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then you got to understand, like North Face always had this never stop exploring. Before they were expedition proven, but back in the day, that company had like a real kind of like a mom and pop feel.
Yeah.
So, and nothing against Patty and Yvonne, he always had that mom and pop feel with his company, but that's like a total different legacy. TNF legacy back then, it was kind of like a family. So when the company got sold, a lot of the workers were able still to stay there. And you got to understand, being that how it was, how should I say, kind of like a generational thing where it'll be like, okay, mom worked here, then the daughter works here. When that company got sold, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think maybe like 97, that was it. Like they fired a lot of like the
Yeah.
designers and stuff. So when they left, they took a lot of like the reference material, the catalogs, they took some of the gear. Because remember, they were the ones that kept their own archive.
Right.
Because remember, the warranty department, remember, they fixed their own gear. They
Right.
used to fix their own gear. Everything was in-house for them. So once that happened, it was like they lost a lot of reference material, a lot of reference gear. So now, fast forward, we're talking like 20, I think that was like what, 2014, 2013, 2014 now. I'm on Instagram. I'm showing all like, all
Yeah.
my vintage pieces because these weren't around. All my vintage mountain lights and stuff. And
Yeah.
that's when he reached out. And it was really at that time, it was his project. He was like, "Hey, listen, right now TNF, we have Supreme and stuff and all that's popping or whatever, but like, like we want to get back like that urban market. And like I see you guys doing it, Joey. Like I looked at the vintage North Face hashtag and I see you and your guys doing it or whatever." And he was like, "Yo, bro, like we want to bring it back." And that's how we started talking. And the thing is like TNF brought back the mountain jacket,
Mhm.
like the J. Crew one, like the Metro Mountain, but they weren't Gore-Tex. The cut was different. It was just a bunch of things that they were doing wrong. And then when they started speaking to me, he was like, "Hey, listen, what would you do?" He said, if you worked for us, like, what would you do?" And then that's when I told him, like, "Yo, bro, if you really want to bring it back like the fucking OG. Bring it back like Gore-Tex with
Yeah.
the ladder lock." And that's why you see these.
Yeah.
And all.
I saw that a few years back they started releasing like all like those like 90s kind of colorful fleeces and some of the patterns that they had from the
Hey,
archives, but there
yeah.
was something missing about just like the overall vibe of it. It seemed a little too fashiony
You
and
know what
not
was missing? They didn't get nobody that actually, like was there.
right.
Like you got to understand, like when the relationship kind of like stopped, it tends to turn into like I don't want to say piracy, but it tends to turn into stalking. And when you're getting a lot of like imagery off of Instagram, they
Right.
start, stalking either us or other people that's doing it. You're not gonna. You only could do so much from a photo or from a
Right.
video.
That's
You
right.
know, like it's with any company. Like when you try to bring something back, you're gonna need somebody that was either there, that either made it, or somebody that wore it or that knows about it. So you can get that aesthetic of the reference. And in all honesty, they didn't do that.
Oh man, you just nailed it. You're absolutely right. That makes total sense. And also like what you don't get off of a photo is like the swagger of the person wearing it too, like the vibe of that person, even just how they lean, like just seeing how they rock it. Sometimes you can't get that. Most of the times you can't get that on the photo
Can't
from a
buy that.
photo. So yeah,
Buy
like
It's
that's what's missing is the aesthetic and also the context. Like a guy like
yes.
you knows tent and trails, knows going in there before it became a fashion thing, and you see the technical people, and you're kind of you're I don't want to like overly glamorize you or like
Oh,
try
no,
to
no.
hype you up or anything, but like
I'm
people
just
like
a
you who were going there like with the
yeah.
vision, seeing something beyond what the stuff is used for and seeing its kind of its aesthetic and how it works for like an everyday city kid. It takes people like you to kind of bring that out. So if you have some suburban kid that just is looking at Instagram, it's just not going to be the same.
Nah, and sometimes I mean, no disrespect. I mean, because we all learn, like,
Right.
because like I said, I learn from the catalogs. Like we
Right.
all tend to learn, but sometimes you just need to have at least that imagery there, like not the photo, but sometimes if you see it like firsthand, like, hey, invite Joey, like, hey, just invite me in. Hey, tap my brain for a minute.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, hook me up, bro. Like, can you buy my flight? Can you like
Yeah.
make sure I eat and like let me get a couple, in my pocket because I know you guys are gonna make millions.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what probably scared them off. They probably felt like maybe they couldn't approach us, or we were probably unapproachable. But I mean, in all honesty, like, and I'm just a regular guy. I'm nobody fucking famous. I'm not the greatest in the world. I'm just very loyal. But I did a lot of shit with them. Like I did a lot of shit like in the background, But when it came to getting like into design and stuff like that, like I wasn't included. And I'm sure if my input was there, like put it this way, they brought back the search and rescue line. Yo, the
Which
search
one's
and
that?
rescue line.
What's the search? Is that the medic stuff that I saw on your gram?
Not even the medic. It's like yellow and black. It's basically it's triple layer. I'll draw reference to DMX. If you see DMX in that video where he's wearing it's a search and rescue suit. Long
Okay.
story short, it's like highly technical. It's basically made for dudes to be jumping out of the damn helicopter
Yeah.
to rescue people that's stuck on a mountain.
Let me look
That
at this
jacket
stuff
was
up.
so highly technical, had so many bells and whistles. Long story short, they brought it back. But when they brought it back, they didn't bring it back in Gore-Tex. They
So
brought
it's
it
just
back.
fashion stuff.
The arms were too short. The cut was wrong. The nylon was just, like you said, fashion stuff.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not trying to hate on the fashion. Like, fashion is good. We like that. But these people want to pay that money for that quality. Like,
Yes.
they could have brought it back in Gore-Tex and they could have jacked up the price.
Right.
Like, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I know the whole Alpine suit back in the day probably cost like 700. Yo,
Hmm.
they could have charged 15
For
for it
sure.
now, and
I know this jacket. Yeah. That's an awesome jacket. I like that.
people would have bought it, and
Yep.
then like I don't know, like that's where they fall short. Like if you're gonna bring back an iconic and you want to get that homage and that imagery, and you want to remind the youngsters of it, me per se, because I'm being honest, like my kids, I have 4 sons. They all go shopping in the closet.
Yeah.
So let's say, damn, dad doesn't have a large, and I'm fitting a large now. Wow, I think North Face came back out with that jacket. Now the kid goes into the store. He doesn't even tell dad. He goes in the store. He picks up the jacket. And he's like, "Yo, what the hell is this shit? This ain't like the jacket that I seen my dad wearing."
Yeah.
Like, okay, so now you're trying to bag the consumer because you're trying to get them off of the imagery. You're trying to get them off of the imagery, but you're not bringing back the quality. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't even necessarily have to be Gore-Tex. Like, I mean, because high vent. I don't mean to like diss the technology, but you could have brought it back in some like bomb ass proof high vent.
Right.
Like made it bomb proof because yo
Right.
that jacket was like bomb proof.
Yes.
literally, like it had Kevlar arms on it.
Yes.
Like literally, like search and
Yes.
rescue jacket and heli jacket. Those two jackets, like when it comes to technical features, bro, those are the jackets that every old school face head is gonna be like. That's like a Grail jacket.
You see them on eBay? Do you search for
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
search
yeah,
North Face
yeah,
on eBay?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, you see them on eBay. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like, I really don't collect that much anymore. Like I slowed down because like I said, I have 4 sons. So all the gear that I was buying that I had in the closet, like they're all tall, like they're all fitting it now. Like all the samples that I've gotten, because like I said, I've done work with with North Face and they send
Mhm.
me samples. So before I talked them into making samples that fit me, which that was a plus, they only used to make sample size, which was medium. I even called it sample size. It was
Yeah.
only medium. So all the samples that I got, my kids were the ones wearing it. And I complained with them. I'm like, okay, guys, I appreciate it. You guys want me to model the gear and wear it, but guess what? Joey don't fit a medium. So if you guys are gonna, make samples for real people. So they started making samples now in like bigger sizes. So, but far as like buying anything now, like I don't know, man. Like if they come back out with this, because we all want these back. There's
Yes.
a lot of people that weren't able to get on it. They got on the wagon late. So there's a lot of people now that want these mountain jackets back. They need to bring them back. They have Future Light now. I don't know if I'll get the Future Light, but if you bring back the Gore-Tex, yo, there's gonna be a lot of heads that's gonna get them.
Is Future Light their new like proprietary fabric or something?
Yes, it is.
So that's what they're using instead of Gore-Tex?
Yeah, they're using Future Light. FL, yeah, they're using Future Light. It's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I really don't have anything bad to say about it. I mean, I have some Future Light.
Yeah.
I have like the Mountain Lights. They came back. The Future Lights that they came out with are pretty decent. They have like Mountain Lights. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Mountain Jacket's going to be coming back in Future Light
Uh-huh.
this winter season. Don't
Nice.
quote me on it. Don't
I
quote me
won't.
on it. But I
Okay,
think
so
it's making a comeback.
let's dive into like Gore-Tex hoarders for a little bit. How many pieces do you guys think in your collective you have overall?
Bro, in all honesty, you got to remember, like GTH, it's all separate members. So
Yeah.
far as like if I mean, we did a thing with the North Face. It was
Yeah.
called the Prototype Bowl, where it was me, Thirsty from the Bronx, Jazz Many Faces, Solis, like a couple of Gore-Tex hoarders went there, and we took our collection down there,
Yeah.
literally, like to show it off, to show the, how should I say it, the Alpine generation, how the urban generation does it. And it
Yeah.
was kind of like it was like a new meets old. Like round two was there, and I think they had BK the God was there. So it was like showing new North Face gear and old North Face gear. But as far as like a collective, like how many pieces we have, bro, I can't even. I would. It's unfathomable. I mean, between Jay and Solis alone, like these guys, their collection is like fucking heavy, man.
Yeah.
They have a fucking lot of pieces, and then we have collectors, Gore-Tex hoarders is worldwide. So it's not only in the Bronx. We have collectors all over. So I wouldn't even know. I
What's
mean,
it take to impress you guys? Like, what does somebody have to come out with to really impress a North Face head?
I mean, in all honesty, I mean, it's not really like shit. All right, if off the bat, if you want to impress a dude, like you just come out, you want to pull a fucking piece out,
Yeah.
pull out that white heli, pull that white heli, that unicorn out, pull out that white heli,
Yeah.
pull it out like with the vest though, like the
Yeah.
vest and the jacket zipped in, pristine condition with the hydration bladder in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be like, oh shit, yeah, we see you.
Were those just for like the helicopter rescue people? Like were those not sold or are those
Yeah,
just hard to come
they were
by?
sold. Yeah, they were sold. They were sold to the public, to the general public, but
Yeah.
they weren't made in like mass quantities.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were definitely sold. But
You see,
the best ones, man, I'm telling you, because remember that series, like the heli series 1, 2, and 3.
yeah.
So if you get a heli 1, like that Kevlar is so thick. I'm telling you, like if you get shot in the shoulder, I'm telling you the bullet is probably gonna bounce off. Don't quote me on it. Don't
Right,
go shooting yourself in the shoulder, but yeah.
right. And okay, so I mentioned it earlier. How'd you get the medic one?
Oh,
That
well,
one's so cool.
mine's is a one of one. I got mine on eBay. No lie. I got it literally from the person who owned it, and it was so funny because the person had it on eBay for so long, and nobody wanted to buy it because the way how the logo it's on the other side. A lot of people thought it was counterfeit.
Uh-huh.
So it has the big cross, on the side that the North Face always keeps its logo,
Yeah.
which is the hard side. And a lot of people thought it was counterfeit, but I mean I knew what it was, and I hit the person up. I was like, "Are you you really selling that?" And they dropped the price literally for me. It was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna drop the price. Nobody's buying it, yada yada yada. So I'm just gonna sell it."
Yeah.
Purchased it, and then next thing you know, I noticed that he had the fleece for it, the Denali. And when I reached out to the person, I know it was the same person. He's like, "Oh, hey Joey, it's me." It's like, "This is the fleece for it." And I was like, "Well, can I buy it?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And he ended up selling it to me like for $30, but
That's amazing.
it's a beautiful shell, man. I love that shell.
Yeah, I saw it's really striking. Do you wear that out? Do you wear that casually, or is
Um,
that just
well,
for your work?
well, it's archival, and then also I don't know if you know, but it's like literally it's custom because like
Uh-huh.
it's literally like it was literally his jacket. So the arms were made, I guess, a certain type of way so he could put on his mittens.
Uh-huh.
So like
Oh, the type that go up, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
So if you look at the jacket, so let's say if you want to wear the jacket like normally, the jacket will probably like fit like that.
Uh-huh.
It'll fit like young or whatever. So,
Functionality. It's for
yeah, so
function.
basically, yeah, so that jacket basically, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a one of one because that's what he
Wow,
told me. He said that he specifically got it made for him.
that's crazy. Do you think North Face is ever gonna release, like, the military grade stuff like, the public?
Um, no, I don't
No
think
way, right?
so. I mean, well, at least not TNF USA. TNF Japan, like Goldwyn, yeah, most likely because I mean the stuff that they release is like beautiful. They release a lot of beautiful stuff, man. I
Yeah.
don't know if you frequent, I don't know if you check like the JDM pages, like TNF Standard, or if you check TNF, I think it's TNF Goldwyn, but if you check TNF Goldwyn or TNF Standard,
I'm gonna do it right
you look
now.
at you look at some of the stuff that they make, man. Oh Lord, like they still deal with Gore-Tex. Like they make a lot of stuff that, no lie. I know it's a rough thing when it comes to like fashion and functionality.
Uh-huh.
But man, some of those shells, like the colors, I'm like, yo,
Oh, man.
it almost turns me to fashion when you see like the greens and the
Oh,
pinks and the
man.
oranges. Like, oh,
Oh, no.
they're all Gore-Tex.
Oh, no. What did you do to me?
I know, and
That
then
stuff is great.
when you look at TNF like USA market, you're like, oh man, like
Do you mess with Purple Label?
it doesn't fit me, bro. I'm so tall. Like I'm a giant. I
Yeah.
call myself the Jolly Green Giant. I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
So like you got to remember their size is like smaller.
Yes.
So it'll probably be like maybe like a size smaller. So like what we always say, like when we say JDM, if you're a medium, you better make sure you buy a large.
Right.
Always try to size up because
Yes.
it's just not gonna fit. At least
Yeah.
not big guys like me. And then you got to remember us New Yorkers, we like to wear our stuff like even bigger. Like so, it ain't gonna do for me. That's why
Yeah.
I wish it. I ain't gonna lie. I wish it fit, man. Because some of their stuff is just. I love the JDM stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Have you been to Japan?
Nah, haven't been to Japan.
Me
Haven't been to
neither.
Japan. I
I
would love
feel
to go though.
I'm scared of going because I think I'll go broke if I go.
Oh man, and the culture, man. Like they really love like the hip hop culture. They
Yeah.
love '90s. Like I think
Yeah.
when it comes to like a look back, dare I say, I think Japan owns that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they own that.
They're really great about, like, seeing, like, what's, like, really cool in America and just, like, making it better and, like, making the quality
Yeah,
better and caring. Like,
yeah.
it seems like Japanese designers and even just, like, fashion people, like, just they care about the quality of what they're doing rather than
Mhm.
just, like, the fast fashion that Americans by large, not,
Right,
there's obviously people that are into, quality and tailoring, but, like, by
right.
large, like, people just wanna wear something for a season and then just get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, I'm stuck in the '90s, man. Like, like I don't know, my style has not changed. I've been dressing almost the same way. Maybe the pants may get a little thinner, or like
Sure.
slimmer, less baggy or whatever. But hey, man, I'm quick to throw on a pair of Gore-Tex boots, some fatigues, and
Yeah.
Gore-Tex shell, and I'm good, man. Give me a long bill hat, and I'm out there. I'm doing it all. I'm fishing in it. I'm gonna go pick up my kids in it. If I got a meeting, I'm gonna be in it. If I'm traveling, I just can't help it, man. This is what you get, man. It's not for Instagram. You can literally see me and my family walking down the street, going to Target, and you'll be like, "Oh shit, yo, you guys really wear it, and you really look like on IG." Unfortunately, yeah, this is our lifestyle. It's not fashion. Unfortunately, we do look good wearing it, but we consider it lifestyle. It's not a fashion for us.
Yeah, I like that. Is there anything that you're currently looking for? Any
Um,
grails, or the mountain jacket
um,
behind you? Is that's it?
no, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, right now, I'm really looking to get some RTG vests. Like, I want RTG vests because, like I said, I'm a fisherman, and I've always loved vests. Always loved the Columbia vest, and I never was able to wear the RTG. I remember when I did go to Tent Trails, and they had them shits there, brand new with the tags. I should have bought them,
What's
but
RTG?
a remote terrain gear. And to be honest, like we kind of like stole the logo. So
Uh-huh.
instead of it saying like RTG, you
Uh-huh.
see GTH, but basically this is like the RTG logo. So if you
Uh-huh.
was to Google North Face RTG, you're gonna see this logo right there.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's basically like, again, this is all technical gear. It's
Right.
remote terrain gear. So if you see the RTG vest, like
Uh-huh.
you'll see the pocket like for the radio, and then you'll see like it'll have the pouch in the
Oh,
back like for the
yes. Yes.
you'll see the pocket in the back, like for the shovel. Because
Uh-huh.
remember, at the end of the day, this is all alpine gear. It's
Yes.
all functional gear. And again, it all draws reference to military gear. Because
Yes.
if you look at an RTG vest, bro, look at a military vest.
Yes.
A lot of the features look the same. The ballistic nylon, the
Yeah.
daisy chaining, the webbing, the singe cords. And if you look at style, North Face, military gear, man, it all looks the same, bro. So if you're like into Rambo, if you're into like Platoon, Red Dawn, if you're like into those type of movies, it's sure you're a gearhead. And
Joey, you're connecting so many dots between North Face and Red Dawn that I never put that together. That's
yeah,
amazing. And it makes total sense.
it's like I'm being honest, like Red Dawn is kind of like TNF. It's like the Grail movie. Like TNF
Yeah.
outfitted the movie, so it's hand in hand. It's all urban. It's all outdoors. It's all gear.
It's
And
like White Men Can't Jump is to like basketball styling, or like Do the Right Thing is to Jordans.
feel
Red
me?
Dawn is to North Face.
Exactly. And
Boom, you did
and
it.
and the thing is, you may not hear this from a lot of people because unfortunately, I dare to say corporate has became a revolving door, and a lot of the people that's probably there now are probably as old as my son, who was born in 1993.
Yeah.
And I owe his mother everything because she was the one that got me my first pack in 1993. Hence the name Gore-Tex Hoarders 1993. But I mean, gear and movies, it is hand in hand. And then with the
Yeah.
visual, with the hip hop, and then the music, and we all love gear, man. And yo, that movie owes a lot to TNF, man. At least for me. You won't hear from the new dudes. They're
I've
too
never heard
young.
it before.
They're
Yeah.
not gonna know. Unfortunately, I'm kind of old. I'm up there in age, but
I'm
I'm
I'm almost
loyal.
45, so I'm
There
close to
you
you.
go. There you go. So, and I'm a loyalist. Like, I mean, come on, man. I have the cup, I
Yep.
got catalogs, I got my whole family wears North Face. Like I put this screen up just to put it up. I mean, I have the photographs,
Yeah.
I have the cups. Like this is literally my wife's cup by her
Nice.
computer. Like
Nice.
it's a sickness, bro.
What's your oldest catalog that you have? Do you have an 85 catalog?
My oldest catalog is 89. Is
Wow.
89. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had 87, but I sold it. On eBay, because eBay is a double-edged sword, man. You go on eBay, you start looking for shit, and then you see something that you have, and you figure like you don't really need it anymore, and you see the price for something, and you're like, wow, somebody sold a catalog for 250. You're like, fuck it, and then you sell it, and then you realize, okay, I wasted the money. Damn,
Right.
and I don't have the catalog,
I don't have the
So
catalog anymore.
like I literally had like 87, 88, 80. Like I literally had like the whole shit all the way to like what was the last catalog? Damn, was it 99? Either 99 or 98. I think it was 99. I literally had all those catalogs and I only have like maybe like 6 or 7 of them now. You
Where'd you
know,
get did you get most of them at Tent and Trails, or
yeah,
just
the
all over the
majority
place?
no, the majority of them I got at Tent Trails like from the door. And then now fast forward, some of them got bent up and ripped up and torn and sharing them with people, showing it to people that I ended up getting maybe like 2 of them on eBay. But and 2 of them, actually 1 of them I got from corporate.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because we did a trade.
Do you mess with any of the collaborations like Supreme or any of the other companies that do North Face stuff?
Yeah, yeah. Like I like a lot of the Supreme stuff. Like they bring out a lot of the homage pieces, like the RTG. And when they brought back the RTG, they brought it back in Gore-Tex. So like in all actuality, like back in the day, I didn't really like fucking with Supreme too much because they would bring back the classic and then like not bring it back with the technology.
Right.
But no lie, I think I did an article about Mountain Jacket and Supreme and like probably bashing them that they don't come out with Gore-Tex. And yo, no lie, the last couple of collaborations, like for the last like what 3 or 4 years, all Gore-Tex, baby. Like yeah. So yeah, I'm digging. I'm digging them. I like them. I like what they
Nice.
do with Mastermind too. There's a couple of collaborations, man. And plus, I wish they would, do a collaboration for the urban dudes, like for the dudes that did it. Like maybe something like for us, get a bunch of like dudes together. Like, and I'm not talking about cause. I'm talking about like collector, like vintage dudes. Like if it
Well,
ain't
that's
like
right. He just did a North Face capsule. That's right.
yeah, well,
Have you seen those
oh
up
yeah, yeah,
close? Are
yeah,
they
yeah.
nice?
The last capsule, they're nice. The last capsule, yeah, he had like a jacket like with the 3M all over it with like the swirl. Yeah, that shit was fire.
Yeah.
And he has mountain jackets. Like Cause has mountain jackets, the 86 mountain jacket. So yeah, I mean he knows what he's doing. He got him. I mean, they doing the classics. That's kind of cool now where they doing the collaboration, they doing it with the classics. Like,
Yeah.
so the Conrad Anchor has his own hymn, and Cause has their own hymn, and they it's cool. I love it, because it's more gear and
Yeah.
it opens up the eyes to the youth. So, I love it. Anything about more gear, I'm for it.
So for somebody that is like that hears this and something clicks in them and they want to seriously invest in some North Face pieces, what would you point to first? And not only model, but like the color. Like what would you recommend somebody dive into first?
Well, it depends. Are they doing it like for functionality or for fashion, or like for grail status? It
Not
depends.
somebody, like
Like a new
whatever, like
jacket, like a new jacket now coming in the
no,
door.
no, no, no. Somebody that like doesn't want to look like a poser,
Right.
appreciates the heritage of the brand, maybe does snow sports,
Mm.
maybe lives in a city, but somebody that wants to honor like what North Face is all about. Somebody that wants to
Mountain
keep it
jacket.
real with them,
Aztec blue mountain jacket. It's a color that, hey, Aztec blue, it goes with a lot of stuff, and it doesn't cross the gang lines, like with the
Right.
Latin Kings, Bloods, and Crips.
Yeah.
And mountain jacket. Overall, it's a good jacket. It's a shell. You have heat control, with the pit zips, and it's a good jacket. And you can layer it. So overall, I would recommend like Aztec blue mountain jacket.
And if you
Whether it's
can't,
vintage or new.
and if they were really serious, they would want to look for made in USA stuff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like if they were like serious about it, and because you got to remember, like like you said, like if they're active and they're in the slopes, that's a conversational piece. Oh shit! Wow, yo, is
Right.
that a vintage model?
Right.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, I want to stack up some lift tickets now.
Right.
And it's a conversational piece, just like wearing a North Face jacket is a conversational piece because
Yes.
there'll be a person that doesn't even wear North Face, but oh, I remember those from back in the day.
Right.
Oh yeah, hey, this is a 30-year-old one.
This is back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the back in the day, So yeah.